Today is Monday, August 21st, 2023, and this is the Dunkley Report. Deadly floodwaters have inundated streets along the length of Mexico's arid Baja California, where Tropical Storm Hilary came ashore Sunday. The storm then moved over Southern California, where it dropped torrential rains that swamped roads, trapped cars, and flooded buildings. The National Hurricane Center predicts Hilary will unleash flooding across a normally dry region, swirling north into Nevada by Monday morning. Hurricane Center Director Michael Brennan says the greatest danger is posed by the water, not the wind, and people should focus on avoiding floods. Russia's Roscosmos space agency says the Luna-25 spacecraft has crashed into the moon after it spun into an uncontrolled orbit, bringing a premature end to the country's first lunar mission since 1976. The pilotless spacecraft was aiming to be the first ever to land on the south pole of the moon, an area where scientists believe there could be important reserves of frozen water and precious elements. It was expected to land Monday. However, Roscosmos said it lost contact with the Luna-25 on Saturday after the spacecraft ran into difficulties and reported an abnormal situation. The Luna-25 was in a race with an Indian spacecraft to be the first to reach the South Pole. Spain has won the Women's World Cup for the first time with Olga Carmona's first-half strike, giving La Roja a 1-0 victory over England in the final at Stadium Australia. After the final, the player learned of her father's death, the Spanish Soccer Federation said. The triumph for Spain avenged a quarter-final loss to eventual champion England in the European Championship last year. La Roja's first major international trophy also followed a tumultuous preparation for the team and its coach. Now they're world champions. Spain joins Germany as the only countries to win both men's and women's world titles. England's long wait for another World Cup continues. Firefighters are reporting making progress battling wildfires in a region of British Columbia where homes have been destroyed or damaged in recent days. The good news on Sunday came as thousands of people across the province have fled their homes. Firefighters also worked to keep blazes at bay near the capital of Canada's Northwest Territories, though no one claimed victory as forecasters warned that drier and windier weather was coming. Fire managers asked people to stay out of evacuated areas for their own safety and to reduce the strain on first responders. Hay River Mayor Candice Jameson told residents it could be a matter of weeks, not days, before they could return home. The vote count in Ecuador's special presidential election points to a leftist, backed by the country's fugitive ex-president, likely facing a runoff with the son of a banana tycoon. Ecuadorians voted Sunday amid unprecedented violence that even claimed the life of a presidential candidate at the end of a campaign rally. Less than 2 weeks before the election, leftist Luisa Gonzalez appears set to advance to an October 15th runoff, according to early results released by electoral authorities. She will likely face Daniel Noboa, a former lawmaker and the son of Alvaro Noboa, who built his wealth on a huge banana-growing and exporting business. Sweltering temperatures are lingering in a large swath of the central U.S., causing misery from the Gulf of Mexico to the Great Lakes. The extreme heat prompted Texas Electric Power Grid manager to ask residents to voluntarily conserve power Sunday night. Record highs have been recorded in Texas and other states. People were told to chug extra water while mowing lawns or exercising outdoors Sunday, and to check on neighbors to ensure air conditioning is available. Stifling heat in Texas overwhelmed new students taking part in orientation at Prairie View A&M University, northwest of Houston. University officials said they were reviewing operations after 38 students were hospitalized Friday night. An oil tanker long suspected of carrying sanctioned Iranian crude oil has begun offloading its cargo near Texas. That's according to tracking data analyzed Sunday. The fate of the cargo aboard the Suez Rajan has become mired in the wider tensions between the U.S. and the Islamic Republic. That's the case even as Tehran and Washington work toward a trade of billions of dollars in frozen Iranian assets in South Korea for the release of 5 Iranian Americans held in Tehran. U.S. and Iranian officials did not respond to requests for comment Sunday. As days turn into weeks, the odds are growing longer for families hoping to be reunited with missing loved ones after a fire swept across Hawaii's town of Lahaina. But some remain undeterred as they continue their search for those still unaccounted for. Maui resident Kevin Backlig says he's not ready to give up looking for his wife and in-laws, while Leona Castillo hopes to soon hear from her son. She hopes he was able to outrun the fire. The list of the missing has dwindled over the days as loved ones reunite with other loved ones and as authorities identify more remains. President Joe Biden is scheduled to visit Lahaina on Monday to survey the devastation and meet with survivors. The DC superhero film Blue Beetle led weekend ticket sales with an estimated $25.4 million, according to studio estimates, dethroning Barbie from the top spot after a record-setting run that left movie theaters colored pink for a month. The Barbie phenomenon is far from over. Greta Gerwig's film grossed $21.5 million in its 5th weekend. Its domestic tally is up to $567.3 million. The other half of Barbenheimer also continues to perform remarkably well. Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer took in $10.6 million in its 5th week, with a $285.2 million domestic total. Oppenheimer now owns the distinction of being the biggest box office hit, never to land number 1 at the weekend box office. The leaders of Denmark and the Netherlands say they will donate F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who visited both countries on Sunday, called the move an important motivation for his country's forces, who are embroiled in a difficult counteroffensive against Russia. The promise of new fighter jets came the day after an unusually brazen Russian missile strike on a Ukrainian theater that killed 7 people and wounded almost 150 others. Zelensky vowed stern retaliation for the attack, whose victims included children. The U.S. recently gave approval for the Netherlands and Denmark to provide Ukraine the American-made jets. Zelensky traveled to both countries Sunday to finalize the delivery deals. This has been the World News for Monday, August 21st, 2023. Thanks again for joining us at The Dunkley Report. Today's news was reported by the Associated Press.